So, social media is one of the main causes of relationships never being properly built and being destroyed. Um, this subject really hits home for me for a lot of reasons, and also a lot of people I know, especially people who are in the military. So that's why I picked it to talk about. This class focused a lot on different kinds of relationships and how different things can influence them. So I thought it would be good for this class. Um, I looked at all different kinds of relationships for this project and how social media has an effect on them. First, I focused on like platonic relationships between friends and how they are affected, especially with children. They start to learn how to form relationships at a pretty young age, like when they start making friends at school and whatnot. But thanks to social media, children are no longer developing the skills to form long lasting relationships. Um, Many of the relationships being formed between kids are extremely superficial and they never really have a meaningful basis, which allows them to be destroyed, by just about anything. Um, an example of this is how bullying rates have risen, like since social media became so popular. Um, you know, like I said, there's no meaning behind a lot of relationships. So especially kids are quick to jump, to support the bully or whoever they think is cool. In 2007, there were about 250,000 cases of online bullying, and in just 5 years, in 2013, it jumped to about 504 million cases, which is just awful. Um, the next topic I focused on is how social media affects relationships between family members. Um, this kind of became an obvious issue for a lot of people, I'm sure, during the last presidential election. I know in my own family, certain family members started to argue and, like not like each other very much just because of what the other posted on Facebook about their like political leanings and whatnot. And instead of, communicating and having a conversation with that person, they just, stick to their judgment of, oh, well, he posted this, so I don't like him anymore. He's not invited to Thanksgiving. I also ended up taking a poll where many people agreed that social media has caused some sort of rift between family members. Um, Another example with the family is like children again. You know, when I was growing up, if I got in an argument with my parents or siblings, we would end up talking it out and moving on from it. But now instead of talking it out, the kid goes straight to social media and posts something derogatory about that family member that's, in the heat of the moment. And I don't think they realize that never really goes away. Like that's there forever. It's not a healthy way of dealing with problems. So it's not teaching them to communicate. Um, Instead of communicating, they just seclude themselves behind a computer screen. So my next topic, which is the one that like my creative project was based around, is how social media affects romantic relationships. Since social media became popular and it gave people access to like millions of other people at the tips of your fingers. Divorce rates have risen, like cheating rates have risen. People are so preoccupied with social media and seeing if there is someone better for them out there that they fail to give the necessary attention to the person who's already committed themselves to them. Um, the old saying, like, if a light goes out, you fix the light, you don't go buy a new house. But that's not what people live by anymore. Instead, they just, hop on the computer and see, who else is out there that, might agree with them on this one topic or, satisfy them in that moment instead of, for a long time. My final topic is how social media affects a person's relationship with themselves. Many people base how they feel about themselves off of social media, and it's really sad. How many likes or retweets they get, they're basing their own self worth on it. Um, Due to social media, there's also no middle ground anymore for how people see themselves, you know, and like the emotions of how you feel, they fluctuate so many times a day based on social media. You can wake up in the morning and someone could say something rude on a picture, and you just wake up feeling awful about yourself, hating yourself And then 3 hours later, somebody could, say all this amazing stuff about you, and you feel great about yourself. And it's all based on other people's opinions and not how you actually see yourself. Um, it's kind of sad. I see it all the time where someone is either hates themselves or they have this like ridiculous like God complex almost, where they're like God's gift to this earth. They're so amazing because, people liked their picture. Um, that's not really healthy. So for my project, I have noticed these days that people have parties for everything. So I decided to make cakes for every milestone in a relationship, from, the good to the bad, the happy to sad. Um, so first I have the engagement party cake, which is always a happy time, something to be excited about, hope for the future. Um, Next I have the bachelorette party cake, which I kept PG. um, you know, Last, crazy night before you get married and all those traditions. Next, it's followed by the wedding cake. And, it's supposed to be the happiest day of a person's life. You don't think it's ever going to end. But unfortunately, with this day and age, the divorce rate has risen, which has caused divorce parties, which I just learned were a thing. So I made a divorce party cake. Unfortunately, they've become super popular. Like there were, more cake ideas for divorce parties than there were for weddings. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but yeah. And so if you see the picture, the divorce party cake is just the wedding cake that I, took out some past anger on and smashed up. But yeah, that is my project. And just, be careful on social media, y'all. Thank you.